There's no need to lie when you already believe everything I tell you, you should believe. There's no real necessity for me to come up with some convoluted story, some conspiracy about the earth being flat or reptilian aliens of the fourth dimension being the overlords of the world when you already believe the conclusion. I don't have to tell you that men are bad, women are good, when you already intrinsically believe that. There's nothing left for me to lie to you about. When you are the ones holding the keys to the prison, when you're the jailers, when you're the ones keeping yourselves locked up, I don't need to put in any extra effort, any extra energy, money, resources, time, attention, none of these things. The real key is to simply make you believe what I need you to believe. And then I sit back. I sit back and relax as you are the ones that keep yourselves locked up. You keep yourself in this eternal shrine of nonsense. You don't have to do anything. That's where we find ourselves. That's where I truly believe we find ourselves today, especially when we're trying to talk about relations, when we're trying to make sense of things. Why do you believe what you believe? And women, this is a question for you. Right? We don't want to make it seem as if it's simply just women, but we're gonna just focus right now on women. Why do you believe in the pandering and the lies and the things that are used to separate you from your own money? Why do you believe it? Right? Why do you believe it? For anyone that's actually showed up to the chat, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys. You make all the difference here, right? If you're new here, the name of this channel is It Ain't Easy. My name is actually Easy, right? It's my last name. Shout out to you actually joining the stream. I appreciate you guys. As always, we try to do these things at least once a week, and sometimes life gets in the way, and we don't try to hate on each other when that happens, but we try to put on a show at least once a week. We want to give you a little show. We want to give you a little back and forth, right? We want to have actually a back and forth. We have other live streams where we get back and forth with the chat. This isn't one of those. This is one of those that you enjoy yourself. We try to entertain at least once a week. But if you are new here, like the stream, right? The goal is we're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers, and hopefully we can soon double that. We want to get to 100,000. We want to get the plaque, but we want to get there in a way in which we have actual real conversations where we talk about things that more aren't just about bashing, yelling, devaluing. We want to get there in a way to actually where we can actually, hey, we can have a conversation. But in these weekly chats, we try to have some fun. We try to enjoy ourselves. We try to have an actual back and forth. So, right? So listen, if you don't enjoy these kind of conversations, if you want to just kind of yell at women and say they're bad, listen, we got a crashing out section for that. Enjoy that. Have fun with that. We try to use the hyperbole. We try to use these things, have fun to say, hey, look, ain't that kind of silly? Ain't that silly? But we want to extract a lesson from it. Today's lesson is about the lies, about the pandering, right? Yeah, yeah, Jay. It's the orange LV little one they have. We try to switch out some of the colors in the bags. If you watch some of the deep cuts, and it's a little. If you guys familiar with the beginning when we had the Marvel likes to input little little Easter eggs into a lot of videos. You know, yeah. Oh no, there's a light before that, so it's not a jar. Otherwise, electricity bill would through the roof. But Marvel likes to have little Easter eggs, likes to tell you little things about, hey, this is upcoming. So sometimes we switch out the colors of the bags. So those that know, if you know what colors that we have, we switch it up in time and time. If you're actually paying attention, we try to match the color of the microphone also to, the color of the bag when we can, when it's available. But if you hear it, yeah, it's a deep cut. Right? It's a deep, useless cut, but we like to have fun with a lot of these things. Otherwise, everything gets kind of convoluted, gets kind of serious, right? Appreciate you, Jay. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. It makes all the difference. The algo isn't algoing like we like it to, but what are we supposed to do? We just show up. We do the work. That's it. The algo chooses to push something that we created, then we hopefully it gets the traction it needs, and people look and they see and they say, "Yo, this is dope." Right? This is dope. We push that. Right? For those again, those new here, subscribe to the channel. The goal right now, we're trying to get across that threshold, get to the 4,000, get to the 5,000. In the meantime, we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna talk. We're going to have some fun. We're gonna have some laughs. And for those that are here week to week, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys for your input. You guys mean the world to me in the ways you guys inspire new topics, new ideas. And some of you flat out just send, hey, look at this. This is funny. This is poignant. This is relevant. For those that are helping me create the content, I got no words for you. Thank you. Right? Thank you does not suffice, but that's what I got right now. But we're going to continue. So the topic today is very simple, right? And for those of you that are new here, stay along. You know, we have some fun with it. We try to make a little show, a little entertainment, something for you to look forward to. We try to at least get you on Sundays, work permitting. Otherwise, we also try to do Wednesdays and Sundays and we want to try to. I'm going to try and create an extra stream where we do some news in the morning, where anecdotal stories, where it's kind of like, okay, we can talk about some other things. But today's topic is about lies. It's about pandering. It's about the emotional quality of some of the things that they say to you. They lie to you, and you don't even question it. Why? Outside of it feels good, right? It's one of our favorite sayings there. It sounds good. You look at that, and it just confirms everything you believed in your life, and you run with it. You don't need to be convinced. You don't fact check. What use of it, right? Remember, for those, and I'm showing my age now, I'm dating myself, right? And for those of you here, yo, listen, appreciate you guys. Mrsa, thank you for being in the stream. For those of you that remember encyclopedias, the Britannica, right? Growing up, I remember I was an inquisitive child, and my father went to MIT, right? Brainiac, right? From Nigeria, full scholarship, right to MIT. With computer science. Never saw a computer in his life. But that's the level of intelligence my father had. His IQ was off the charts. And I was a inquisitive child. I would ask him, hey, boom, question A, B, C. You know that child. Why? My father had answers to the whys, right? Until it was just like, I'm just trying to stump you. He would get to the point, he realized I got to the point, he said, hey, go look it up in the encyclopedia. And, you know, of course, at that age, I was like, what are you talking about? I just want to ask you what the question is. We realize that as adults now. I just wanted to interact with my father, right? This being, this thing that had the answers. I just wanted to be up under him, to interact with him. I had nothing to say. I just wanted to have his attention. But I would go. I'd go look it up in the encyclopedia, and I'd struggle and I'd look. And I didn't know the limiting factor of encyclopedias back then. It was what do we know right up until this point. Got it. Today, you can be as curious as you want to be. You can ask anything. Every source of material we have is constantly updated. If not, it's up. If that thing is updated, then there is something else with a newer thing, a newer study, a newer survey, a newer double-blind test that tells you the efficacy of said drug, yet we don't look at them. We simply take what feels good and we run that. We think that this is all it has to be. We look for what we want to support what we feel. Confirmation bias. We think this is the world. We think this makes sense, and we keep moving. Right? We keep moving. From the UK, listen, I appreciate you guys in the UK. Right? When I was preparing for the stream, I was listening to Bugs Malone. I don't know if he's popular there. I love fucking Bugs Malone. it's a constant repeat. So I appreciate you guys from the UK. Shout out to you guys. You guys, what, 5-6 hours ahead? So listen, if you can't sleep, listen to the stream. I'm not saying I'll put you to sleep. I don't want to make that claim. I'm not trying to put you to sleep. Right? So we'll enjoy ourselves. We'll keep going. You know, Amanda Sims, huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, but again, this is not the stream. We may do a post stream after this where we get to sit here and talk and chill with you guys for a little bit. But right now, we got some show. What we're talking about here is the fact that because we have a society that has the most the opportunity to look up everything you wanted to know. Historically, you can look up everything you ever wanted to know in life. Yet, for some reason, we stop at what feels good. Whatever someone just said, right? You can take your pick, right? The Derek Jacksons kind of illuminated it for a lot of men, right? Because a lot of our significant others sent it to us. A lot of our friends sent it to us. Social media sent it to us. Derek Jackson just said blah, 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 blah. And then we looked in the comments. We looked in the comments and said, what, y'all believe this shit? Y'all believe everything this man just said? He just looked and said, I am going to repeat what I heard from you, what I know, what sounds good. That was enough. That was enough. He bought your book. You guys bought the book, right? You bought the book that said, that made you feel right, that repeated everything that Derek Jackson said. Ate it up. And then what happened, right? We all know, a lot of us know the story. Came out, he was doing exactly opposite to that. He was putting his wife through the ringer, not physically, but emotionally. She's got her bonnet on, and she's talking about prayer words. She's talking about all this stuff. But meanwhile, he's basically showing men, this is how you do the dirt, right? This is the subtext. This is the playbook. He's showing you how I get down. I'm grimy. But you believed him because he appealed to your emotions. He wasn't concerned about your outcome. He was just concerned about making himself, enriching himself. And the easiest way to do that is to pander to women, because mainstream society told us the truth. It's easy to advertise to you. It's very easy. It's the most effective form of advertisement. So they constantly do that. Most of the commercials you see today are geared towards women. Most of the products, most of the TV shows, most of the media is geared towards, I'm trying to pluck at your heartstrings, because men get stupid, men get boring, men get technical. How many times do you want to make something about a World War II reenactment? You know, this and this and this, specifically this armament of bullet. Yeah, it makes stupid TV. For whatever reason, and bless your hearts, women, y'all love the crime dramas. You love the drama. Hey, this person was a gruesome stabbing. And you're like, oh my God. You sit there and watch it. And in between that, I'll slip a commercial in there. L'Oreal, I'll slip a commercial about that. Lemur, something about that to get you buying, get your attention. It's easy. It's easy. So what? Us sophisticated type. We saw that and we say, I could do the same thing. I know what you like. You've been telling us for decades. 5, 6, 7 decades. You've been telling us in the advertisement, telling us in the articles, in the Cosmo. You've been telling us what you want. So all we had to sit there and look at that, right? First of all right, I gotta stop for a second. Whenever my family comes in the chat, right? Ill City Diaries right there. My guy right here, right? It's my brother. My brother's probably the best man I know. The best man I know. So every time I get a chance to big him up, I'm going to big him up. You know, I appreciate you, my guy. You being here. I know your schedule is hectic. I know you got the newborn. You got So when you are here, I appreciate you. I love you. Listen, you guys cannot have better siblings than mine. I welcome you to try. You will succeed in the failure in the attempt. But this is what matters. This is what I care about. You know? So listen, back to the story. Right. And again, if you are new here, like the stream. This matters, right? We got the goal. We're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers, and then we're trying to get to 5, and then we're trying to get to 100,000. So listen, every little bit, it helps your attention. This matters. I appreciate you guys that are here week to week, that you show up, that we have conversations, that we talk in real life outside of this. Not to say this not real, but you get what I'm saying. You guys help unlock little things. Sometimes you poke, you prod. My brother, I'm looking at you. Poke, prod, and say, hey, what do you think about this? And it's funny, it's hilarious, and I try to make little notes. For those that actively send me stuff, right? You guys can check the email in the description. If you guys have got things that you want me to react to, specifically send it to me. I'll consider it, especially if it's not so inflammatory. If there's a lesson we can extract from that, that's what we're going to do. That's the point of this. We want to create a community, right? Not a cult, but a community where we actually have some dialogues and back and forth, some stuff that matters along the way. We're trying to improve, production. We're trying to make sure that something that we can build something that we're all proud of, and we say, hey, remember when it was just 3,000 of us in here? Right? Remember it was just us right here? And then you guys can watch me sell out to sponsors and say, hey, I'm out of here, right? Hey, try these new Spanx. right? I've used these all my life, and you guys can watch me and just shake your head, say, "Damn, what happened?" Right? Remember when we actually had something here we look forward to every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Sunday? No, now he just sells out to whatever sponsor comes around. He says he was with us from day one. That's a good bridge. We can cross that when we get to that. We're not going to sell out like that, right? We're not going to sell like that. But in the meantime, like the stream, subscribe to the channel. This is what we're here for. Stretch goals. We're trying to make it. But we learn how to pander to you. We learn how to lie to you. And we look at dating. We say, well, why are men like this? Well, we like this because it's successful. We learned to lie to you because you told us to lie to you. You said you didn't like the truth. We tried to tell you the truth, and you said, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about your word choice. I want to talk about your tone. I want to talk about how you said this, but you should have said this instead. How I was working on that. I should get credit for working at it because I used to be like this and now I'm like this. So how can you try to treat me like who I was instead of who I am today? And we're left like, well, what are you talking about? It sounds good. Right? What are you talking about? Well, I'm lost. I'm lost. I told you I didn't like how you move like this. And now we're talking about something that happened 17 hours ago versus 17 seconds ago. I'm lost. But we learned this is how you want to communicate. So we stopped telling the truth. We start telling you what you want to hear. And then some of us said, I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to keep telling what you hear, but I'm going to extract money from you to hear, for you to hear what you want to hear. Ace metaphor, tonight's conversation. You guys go there with your cards, which I heard they have to approve your questions. You go there. If for anyone ever watch the show, watch the clips we have of the show, why do people go up there with flashcards about their own issues? Oh, because it's already pre-approved. They're ready to react in the canned response way that they're going to react. Rather than have organic conversations about the truth, I'm going to tell you exactly what you want to hear. When I tell you exactly what you want to hear, I'm looking for the clips. I'm looking for the sound bites. I'm looking to extract even more value. I got your money from being here. Now I'm going to get more money from social media. I'm going to get more money from YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And then I can come out with my own book and you'll buy it. And it's the same things you've always been packaged and want to hear. I'll do you guys a favor. If you just want to hear what you want to hear, just come to me. Give me $20 a month, each and every one of you. I'll tell you what you want to hear. Perfect the way you are. It's his fault. It's her fault. They're the ones that don't see your value. I don't have to lie to you anymore. You're already pre-programmed, primed to believe the lie. All I have to do is nudge you in that direction and then you'll go. You'll go. We're going to get to that in the main event. We're going to talk more about that in the main event. This is my hook to make you stay longer, right? For those of you that do stay, I appreciate you guys all the time. Right? You guys mean the world to me. When I put together these streams and haven't been able to do it for like a week and a half, don't get me wrong. I've enjoyed myself and said a week and a half, but we're here today. We're going to talk. We're going to have some fun. And we're going to try to make small improvements. Unfortunately for you guys, some of these improvements are behind the walls, right? They're the insulation, they're the piping, right? You don't see it, but it makes things a little smoother for me and makes it a little easier. If I make things a little smoother, I can get a little more complicated on another end. So listen, like all streams, I ask you, bear with me as we try to improve small little increments, make it a little more enjoyable. That's what you get from this. A little more enjoyment. All I ask is for your attention, for your likes, subscription. If you feel you want to donate to the channel, it is there below. You can take a look. Super chats are open. But all I'm saying is if you want to share the channel, you got, we also got merch in the store. You can check those out. But besides that, if you're new here, here's the format of the show. So you can enjoy yourself, so you can expect what you can expect. We got love and money. We got topics under that. Then we got crashing out, one of our favorite segments where people, crash out. Sometimes the people crashing out is you. This time you will be one of the ones crashing out in one of the videos. Again, hook to stay later. Then lastly, we got to agree or disagree. That's where we get a little feedback, a little back and forth. That's when I see you guys in the chat. If you are watching the stream and you are quiet, you are silent. Again, I'm a new channel. I'm a small channel, super smart channel. But I don't know you're watching unless you're in the chat, unless you're going back and forth. In the chat, I encourage you guys to talk to yourselves, to talk to each other. When possible, I will check it out. I will go back and forth, take a little look, see, hey, what are we talking about? Yeah, if you want to grab my attention, that's what super chats are for. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep trying to talk about the show, to keep things going, to keep you entertained on a Sunday night. For those of you that took your time out to join me again, thank you, thank you, thank you. The rest of the world may not appreciate your attention, but I do. It means the world. Right? Even if it's 4 or 5 of you in the chat, it means the world. For those of you that silent watchers, put it on the full screen. Let me know how I look. I appreciate it. If you don't like the pink, I don't know what to tell you. I enjoy the pink. Right? I don't got the corresponding green, or do I? But I'm not an AKA. Right? Besides that, we're going to keep going. Yeah, again, merch. We're always fans of merch. If you do have an idea for merch, right? Because I'll be the first one to tell you, I don't know everything. Right? I'm wrong a lot. But in that wrongness, we try to improve. We try to make things better. So if you got ideas, say, hey, you said this, and this would be a great on a shirt for merch, hit me with it. Right? I got no problem going in there trying to design something. We can collaborate on something itself. You guys want the proceeds for a shirt you design? Let me know. I'll do that. I'll do that. Again, the money, great. But more importantly, your attention is what I'm after, right? Your eyes. You watch the stuff. We put out 2 videos a day, 2 shorts a day, right? Put out 4 pieces of content per day. The goal of that has been trying to do that for a year since we started the channel in June. It is now April. We're closing in on that year. If you go to the channel, you look, we've got over 1,000 pieces of content in there. No repeats. No repeats. Sometimes we drop a couple more, right? A couple more little test pieces, a couple more shorts. Want to have some fun with it. For those of you who know me, you can see a little more my attitude, my style, my preferences, my like, and some of the shorts, some of the clips I like to slip in there, right? But that's what it's for. That gives me a little bit of joy. I want to do things that we have fun with. And one of the greatest things we can have fun with, is you guys in the chat right now. Don't neglect that. Jump in. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what's going on with you. All right? We're going to create little sections where we can get the back and forth. Like I said, sometimes after the show, we do a little post show, right? Where I'll hop on the live and just kick it with y'all. We're going to have specific lives where it's more about kicking it with y'all. We'll have a broad topic and have an idea for another one. About one guy, he was talking about the end of the patriarchy, you said, because people don't do X, Y, and Z. I got a lot to say about that, but I'm going to save that. Right? It might be a post show. For now, though, we got some show. It sounds good. Right? We got some show. I want you guys to enjoy yourselves, right? I want you guys to relax, get some wine, got some popcorn. I want you to be like, oh my God. I want you to shout at the screen, but realize no one can hear me. Let me go to the chat. Make with the fingers, make with the thumbs, right? Make with the thumbs. Hit that. For those of you that type with 2 thumbs, I don't know how you do that, right? It's a 1 thumb type of deal. Sometimes my left is a little sloppy, so I don't begrudge it. I got a lot of people that are left-handed in my life that I absolutely love. First and foremost is my brother, left-handed. He's super talented. Right? I shout out my family a lot, by the way. If you don't like that sort of thing, I don't have anything to say to you, because sometimes I constantly say my mom might check out the stream. Right? I don't know when she signs on. I don't know when she feels like it, if she ever feels like it, but she's got a lot of spies. She got aunts. My aunt is California. She watches and she reports to my mom. So be very light with the curses. Feel free to talk normally as you do in the chat. I'm not responsible for you guys, but I'll monitor my own language. With that being said, we got some show. We'll do it. All right, love and money. Love and money. A lot of times we like to think about this in simple terms, right? There's a love and then there's money, right? We're in love, in a relationship. We hope we're in a relationship before we're in love, right? We're not just kind of pander and play like we're in love. But we're in love and then we're talking about money. But what happens when you sort of slice some of this apart, when you try to separate a lot of this? When people use the loving part, right? The active part of loving, the verb part of loving, the love making part to get the money. And we shouldn't seem surprised, right? We shouldn't be like, oh, how does this happen? We know exactly how this happens. Men want a thing and women say, I've got virtually an unlimited supply of it, a renewable source of energy. Think windmills in Brussels and Amsterdam, constantly spinning, constantly spinning. As long as there's wind being produced, I can get some sort of energy from that. Sometimes that's vagina. It's a renewable source. We don't want to talk about the content, the quality, but it's a renewable source. If you want a thing and a man is willing to spend on it, what we like to say, what we completely understand, that fair exchange, right, is no robbery. We can admit that. We can understand that. Fair exchange is no robbery, right? For those of you that show that little cut with the screen, the black and white, that's a little behind the scenes things we're trying to do. We're trying to entertain you. We're trying to have fun with it. That's the name of the game. But back on topic, the problem we see today is that
I like money.
Love money above all else. We love what money allows us to do. The access. One of the things that we love to access more: concerts, plays, dramas, places where we should be, but we know we don't have the money. If you're a woman, you're an attractive woman, one of the things that you can do is the oldest institution in the book. The oldest, the most effective. But again, if you don't know, I grew up in New York, born and raised in New York. I've been around the world, but born and raised in New York. So a lot of my values are New York values. Money-wise, I like to see where the money's going. But my values in New York, one of the big things that says, do what you want to do, leave me alone. Right? Do what you want to do, leave me alone. That's a New York thing. You and whomever doing whatever on the subway, I'm going to step right over you. Leave me alone. Do what you want to do. Right? Because when I do what I want to do, leave me alone. So if you like to exchange your body for things, I'm going to say the same thing. Leave me alone. Do what you want to do.
Who bought your
Let's go. Let's go.
Who bought your Coachella ticket?
I didn't buy a coach. I suck for this ticket, honestly.
Well, I think that's like a joke. That sounds like a joke.
No, I really did. Inadvertently, I f***ed this person and they gave me the ticket, but I didn't f*** them for the ticket. I didn't f*** them for the ticket. I just want to point that out.
So listen, a lot of times we get initiated into the reality of things very late. We don't know that the game is cold like this. The guy issuing the interview said, oh, that's cute. That you're joking. No, this is very real. A man said, I had Coachella tickets that had no purpose, no idea, no drive to go to. But he said, you know what? I can get something from these things. I can get something for these things, and I'm willing to exchange them for this. That's the name of the game. The game is cold, like we did our last live stream about. The game is cold, but let's stop pretending like these things don't happen. Let's stop pretending.
Them on the side and then they give me ticket.
Who bought you?
Listen, she said it. This is the way it is. We can be upset about it, or we can simply say, yo, this happens. Sometimes I heard a lot of the reasoning that women talk about when they're talking about, say, OnlyFans, and that men tend to be jealous about the OnlyFans. They tend to look and say, yo, how come men get to do these things? Women get to do these things, rather, excuse me. Women get to do these things. They get to exchange their body. They get to take some pictures. And here come the men, making them millionaires almost overnight. Now, of course, we know we're talking about a small percentage, right? 1%, 2%, 1% probably of these people making these millions. The rest of the people are making less than $200 a day. As we said several times on this channel, can you imagine showing what your mama gave you for $200 a month? And you look at that and say, this was all. Some people have that real reality. They have to face that. They have to realize that this wasn't the mood or the mode for me, but that's what the reality they're dealing with. The rest of us, maybe, yeah, there's some inherent jealousy that I have to go to work, that I have to do all the things. I have to make something of myself. I have to use the intelligence that the good Lord provided for me, and I have to make something. I've got to grab the clay of life and shape it into something, and you just get to show the shape and hint of a hit, and then we'll sacrifice their life force, their energy, their money for you. We understand that this is just part of the game. You don't have to be upset about it, but you have to realize that this is a very real thing. So part of this helps sort of denude the reality, right? It helps make it malleable, helps make it sort of like putty, where you sort of grip it and you form it into your own desires based on the way you saw life should be. One of those big things that helps format the way life should be, your thinking how life should be, is how you grew up. The thought that there was going to be some person, a prince, charming, we all know him, we all understand him. A Prince Charming is going to come and say, here you go, you poor, broke, such and such, working at Wendy's 4 for $4. I'm going to come take you and give you a life of luxury. But for the real part, for the most of us, we understand this is not really real. That's not really how these things work. You don't really have a society, right? And for those of you that know a cousin, know an aunt, know a third friend twice removed that happened to, you understand that these are at best anecdotal, pieces of evidence. The reality is that this doesn't really happen. This doesn't happen for people. They don't just suddenly come up on someone that says, you are the best thing I've ever seen in the world. And I want to make you my wife. I want to make you the custodian of everything I've ever built, of everything that's ever been important to me. I want you to be the thing. It doesn't really happen, right? And if it does, it's a one-off. And I'm completely calm in saying it's a one-off. But sometimes we need to hear things from a woman's perspective. We need to see and hear what they have to say about some of these things, because we believe that we know better. We believe that we've got it all kind of figured out. But I think it's fair to understand that this is not the reality. This is not how a lot of this stuff actually works, how some of the stuff actually happens. But what are we supposed to do about it? How are we supposed to entertain? How are we supposed to understand the truth?
About a year ago, I posted a video saying women who marry for money are corny. I got fried on the internet. However, like many great philosophers, I think my ethos was just a touch too early for the times. I do think the internet is now ready to hear my side. However, instead of saying women who marry for money are corny, I'm going to say women who aspire to marry for money are delusional. And I'll point out 3 main delusions. I know this from lived experience. I went to one of those fancy New England prep schools. I went to a top 12 school. I had interned in banking. A lot of my friends work in banking. I've worked in tech. I've worked in finance, blah, 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 blah. I know that world, so I can tell you from lived experience. So delusion number 1 is who these men are actually choosing. I think what made this discourse so exciting in the beginning is it made women believe that a man is going to pluck you from obscurity, from the town that you hate, from the job that you hate, and he can fundamentally change your life. When in reality, these men have a very specific pool of women that they're selecting when they're thinking about partnership. They are selecting women from the business school that they went to, the undergrad that they went to, the pre-professional programs that they are part of, the members-only clubs that they are part of, where they summered over the vacation, family, friends, or maybe through friends of friends. Like maybe he's having a housewarming in his apartment loft in Tribeca and his best friend brings a homegirl and that's how he meets. But it's all through very proximate and concentric circles. And let's say you do get lucky and maybe you connect on Raya or a night out. The second he brings you around friends or the partner at the law firm and you can't talk comfortably about certain things that only people who grew up talking about those things can do, it's a wrap.
Right there. When you didn't summer in some Italian, villa, in you've never been to Sicily, you've never been to Puglia, you've never been to any of these places. This is when we know the truth. You've never been to Balta. You never understood what happens in a lot of these places, what living there really means. It shows that you're a fraud. It shows that you don't understand the game. You don't really know what's happening here. And this is what exposes you. This is the fear that people have in saying, if I'm going to pluck you from obscurity, I'm going to take you from walking the corner, right? Pretty woman. I'm going to take you, I'm going to give you the bubble bath. I'm going to do all this. I don't really have an opportunity to really invest in you in a proper way. I don't have really an opportunity to say, let me fix all these little things, these little holes of who you are, what you've been through. I don't have the opportunity to do any of that. I don't have the time. I can't fake a pedigree. I can't tell you simply, it's not as simply as saying, this is how you set the napkin. This is how you set the plate. This is the fork you use here. This is not a sitcom. This is not a movie where you can sit here and simply practice. Well, the problem is we simply think that these things are real. We think that it's just as simple as giving you a crash course and saying, of course, this is all you have to do. And then you'll simply be there. That's not culture. That's not refinement. That's not how these people take these things generationally and learn about one another. The truth is that the rich date within each other. Think about it. Think about it for a hot second, right? Think about for a hot second. If you had the chance and you were a protector, you were a steward of your family's legacy, and part of that legacy is hundreds of millions of dollars. Part of the responsibility you have is to make sure that has the best chance of continuing forward down the line where it makes a difference, where you can continue to enjoy being on top. Because it's not silly, it's not unheard of for you to be on the top and find yourself at the bottom very quickly within one generation. Within one generation. What do? You properly vet. You look at families. You know, this family is of this, i.e., the of this is some money, is something, is some industry, something they're specifically known for. You take that, you run with it. You say, okay, cool. Let me go and see, do they have any sons? Do they have any daughters? Depending on it, right? Do they have these people that could potentially, and this is how you build. And maybe it's not as simple as that. It's not as direct as that. What do you see instead? If you were at this school, you had to be of this pedigree. You had to be of this pedigree to be here because we know, right? We're talking about the rich. We know my son's not that smart. My son's not that smart, but I was. I was a legacy. He deserves to be here. For my siblings listening right now, maybe we missed the ball right there, right? That was a legacy with MIT, but you know, we know he wasn't as a personable person as we tend to be, so he may have missed the opportunity. But by we, I mean my brother. My brother would have been one to make connections there that would have engendered the rest of our line to barely still go there. He'd make a good enough impression. Me, not so much. I'd get my degree at MIT. Yeah, same thing. My sister would also been good for making connections. I'm not the connections sibling. But all that to say, people are very conscientious of who they marry into, who they allow married into their family, because they want to simply protect what they've built. It's not the movies. It's not this eccentric billionaire that has all the money in the world that simply decides you are the most important thing to him. Therefore, he's going to do everything in his power just to make your life easier. That's not really what we see.
Second delusion is what the experience of dating this person is actually like. Social media has made it seem like it is countless shopping trips and Chanel bags. The reality is, whether you're dating someone who inherited wealth, who is creating their own wealth, athlete, entertainer, they're always traveling, they're always on the road, they're always working. They have zero time to pay attention to you. It is an extremely lonely relationship. Essentially, you are effectively single with some moments of partnership.
And we are very cognizant of a lot of the videos being made by women today saying how little they want of that. How and understand that men always have the trailing effect. We're always behind the eight ball and saying we're responding to a new trend. if you're cognizant, if you remember, the trend was I wanted to be a stay-at-home wife. This went from women that were already in the workforce, they were already working. We say 72 or better percent, you're gonna have to work, you're gonna have to have a job. Say you realize, hey, I actually don't want to work. When I abandoned some of the lies told to me, I let some of that go, right? Harkening back to our main topic. I let some of those things go and decide, actually, this is what I want for my life. I don't want to work. I would love to have a man that made enough to provide for me and the kids and the amount of kids we decide that we actually want to have together. That's what I actually want. That's what I'm looking for. When we hold that as true, we realize the way we've been moving doesn't really make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. We never take into account what does that man that is making that amount, and as the society becomes more and more expensive, as inflation continues to do its steady march forward, as the price of eggs continues to have record highs, steak, whatever, as it continues to set trends, set records, as oil prices continue up, and we got the war and all this, we realize that the men available to do that become an increasingly smaller number, yet the appreciation for those men doesn't seem to rise like the level of inflation. So those men realize that it does not behoove them. It does not behoove them to stay with someone that does not appreciate them. And if right this second, you're with a man that can do these things, that is doing these things, I hope you appreciate him. Hope you appreciate him. I hope you give him the big piece of chicken. Right? I hope you make sure, like, hey, pat on the back, tight hug, right? Let him be, and we're gonna be real about this. Let him be the little spoon tonight. Hug him. Make him feel good about what he allows to happen in the house, what his sacrifice makes happen. Little spoon does that. I may be talking on my face. I may be talking about something specific I like, but deal with it, right? Deal with it, or create your own channel. Then I'll subscribe, and then also listen to your live stream as you talk about the things that make you feel valued as a man and valued as a sacrifice. You get to decide what that is, right? But we're gonna let it continue. We're gonna let it finish this up.
Their priority is and will continue to be work. Also, the sort of like attention-seeking behavior that you could get away with someone who wasn't as focused on their career cannot happen. You need to have a robust, full life, a job that you love, friends and family, for you to even feel fulfilled in a relationship like that. Because if you're looking for your partner to spend a lot of time and attention on you, it's just not going to happen. I also don't even know where the notion that these finance tech bros are out here spending money and buying Chanel bags. They must have the best PR on the planet. They work for their money. They are some of the cheapest people you will ever meet. And I don't even mean that in a pejorative sense, but I mean that in like when you have to earn your, like spend 15 hours at a desk in order to earn your money, you are not going to spend that on a Chanel bag on a girl that you met 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we've said this several times on the channel. We said it several times on the channel. That doesn't make any sense. And we're not disagreeing with her, right? Let's be clear. We're not disagreeing with what she has to say right there. We absolutely believe, yes, that doesn't make any sense. If it took me time to be this dope, to be this amazing, I understand the value of money. I understand that this money actually matters in what I'm trying to do with it. I put a little suit, I put it on a little suit, I send it out to the world. I send it out and say, hey, money, you need to get a job. As much as I like you, as much as I appreciate you, you need to get a job. And your job is to go out, find other monies, bring them back. That could be through investment. That could be through real estate. That can do business ideas. That could be investing in other people's ideas, of being a hard money lender, for those of you that know. But you got to come back. You got to bring money in. Therefore, while I watch you go, right, for those of you that have money in the market right now, for those of you that are in crypto, you understand that my money has been deployed for a while, and you watch it bring diminishing returns, and then you watch it lose itself. Your heart went a pitter-patter, your blood pressure went up, your heart rate, your EKG did not like it. You watched it happen. You became well versed in politics because you saw how politics affected your money. Now you understand the name of the game. Now you understand how it matters. You get it. Cool. I'm with you. I get it. Cool. But now you start to understand the value of, hey, I can't be tricking off of this money. I can't just be giving out to someone. I can't just be putting $20,000, $25,000 on a Birkin that gives me no return or investment. I get nothing tangible from this. You get a fleeting memory of your encounter, right? You get a fleeting memory, something that over time degrades, and you sort of replace the things that you forgot with more fantasy. But you pay $20,000 for it. We all know it's not worth it. We all can admit that. And this is not on a bias type. This is just on a realization that math is math and math matters. You can't escape this. The rich are not coming and saying, I'm going to, and do not, absolutely do not. Let me get you to black and white close up. Do not think I'm talking about you, but the rich do not want to dilute their line with your finances. You can't come to someone and say, hey, I'm a liability, because that's what that's my resume saying. I'm a liability, take care of me. Oh, but I'm going to love him. I'm going to love him. We're mix matching the game, right? And the game is a cold one. When you were younger, that love thing worked more. When I was 16, I was more concerned with love than I've ever been in my life. Wanted it. I wanted to give it. I wanted to embody it. Over the years, as my time on the planet doubled, so, oh, wow, I'm tripping. Right? Very early on, I'm really tripping. I got to make something of myself. I got to be worthy of this affection. And this is the unfortunate reality of men. I'm not saying that this is where we should be. You don't want to be in a position where you have to prove your worth. You want to be in a position where someone comes and realizes your intrinsic value and says, I recognize everything you've done. You are cut above the best. You are 2 cuts above the best. Maybe 17 cuts above the best. And I see that and I recognize that, and I want to prove myself worthy of that. This is how we should look at things. But men, we get a bad rap. We are in an intentional subservient position. Society wants us that way because the minute you realize, hey, I work to be better, you realize I don't really got to accept a lot of this stuff. And we'll see that in Crashing Out. You don't got to accept a lot of this nonsense. Right? That was an obvious ploy to make you guys stay a little longer. You don't have to accept none of this stuff. But the conversation today gets surrounded about the 50-50, about the math, and some of us really can't do the math, but we want to hear the argument. We want to hear what's being said. So let's pay a little attention of what someone trying to make this make sense, what it actually means. And if you don't, get it,
baby,
I don't get it
they
either.
must done fix TikTok, because baby, we right back in the groove of things, baby. Now we back talking about 50-50, the same goddamn topic we've been talking about since COVID. So let's just do some math, because I'm really getting irritated. My rent, $2,200. A man come to me, hey baby, we gonna make it. I want to make it easy for you. You know what I'm saying? Split some bills. We can go 50-50. Every 2 weeks, $1,100. Then you gotta think about it. He might got a car note. Then we got nigga, all you got is 50% to help me with. Why? But I got every 2 weeks my check more than that. My check more than $1,100. What I need you for, sir? You are a live fucking ability. Your check. The fuck?
So this is where we end up losing part of the plot. This is where we end up losing part of the plot because we stop understanding. We think that because I'm making enough to sustain myself right now means that this is the formula for doing better in life in general. This ain't it. Part of what you want to be doing, part of what we fail to often understand is not just how much you're making, it's how much you're able to save there and how much you're able to invest. If your rent is arbitrarily say $2,000 and you're making $2,500 and you can pay your rent comfortably, right? We're fudging the numbers, right? Fudging the numbers because sometimes we're not good at math, just like she is. We're fudging numbers. So if someone comes and says, "Hey, that $2,000 you're spending for rent, I got half of that," that means you freed up $1,000 that you were used to sending over here, even though you were comfortable sending it to the landlord. I'm a landlord. Please send me your money on time. I appreciate that. You were comfortable sending your money to the landlord, but now you can invest that. You can put that in some sort of vehicle that will help you put a suit and tie on your money and go out and work. You don't see that because we're so very used to the small, right? We're so used to intrinsically, what can this do for me right now? You don't want the delayed gratification because the delayed gratification isn't spicy. It's bland. It's boring. I can tell you the truth. It's hella tasty when you get to there because you think time is slow, but 5 years will pass just like that. And in 5 years, you can see some of the fruit of that work ethic taking hold. You don't get that in the media. You don't get that by turning your eye to it immediately. You don't see that. But we have a society, we have a community, especially among the Black community, that does not appreciate that it's going to take time for things, for the stew to marinate. And a good stew is going to marinate. It's going to be flavorful. When you take apart that meat, for those of you that are vegan, I'm sorry, apologize. But when you pull apart that meat and it's soft and it's tender, and it's not some white guy trying to take advantage of a black man, an older black man sort of sway and pull of no. It's just tender. It's falling off the bone. It's the most flavorful, infused meat you've ever seen in your life. Pause. You enjoy it. You can't do that if you don't start now. You don't start today. You don't start saying, "Hey, it's 50-50. I may not emotionally agree with it because I kind of been lied to. I kind of been told," and it's an example of how this doesn't make any sense. They told you it doesn't make any sense and never proved anything positive. They just said, "Hey, if that man is paying his own rent, or if he come in, you already pay your own rent. So how's that helpful for you?" It's super helpful for you. Half of the money you dedicated to a fixed expense is gone. It is freed up into your account. You can do whatever you want with it. You can have a minor drug addiction problem. We don't recommend that. We recommend you putting it away for an emergency fund. And then, when that builds up substantially enough, then putting it into some investment account. That's what we recommend, not the cocaine, not the other drug problem. But we want to acknowledge that this is still America for the foreseeable future. You can do what you want. This is not financial advice. This is not recovery addiction advice. But someone coming and saying, even if a man is moving in, which we don't recommend, comes in and says, "Half of that I'll take care of," you say, "No, I'd rather live by myself." Making it paycheck to paycheck, because statistically, most of us are in that realm. You're making it paycheck to paycheck, and your pride is keeping you here. Your emotions are keeping you here. The lies they told you is keeping you here. The lies they no longer have to even tell you is keeping you right here. It's keeping you locked in place. That's the difference. And it's not the Delta difference that we used to sing. For those of you who know Delta, shout out to Delta. Insert plane widget, plane flying across. Right? Shout out to Delta. But listen, let it continue. Let's matriculate this show down the field.
That's not helping me. How is that helping me? That's not helping me at all. Because guess what? I could be saving a little, but you ain't saving nothing. Your whole life, everything you working for is going directly to bills. That means, say for instance, I want to take a trip. You ain't got no motherfucking money. But if I was to live on my own, I still got some money to do what the fuck I want to. I still got money to go buy a Sonic meal. I still can go get me some Parmesan crusted lamb chops after I get paid from the first 2 weeks. Your first 2 weeks, you gotta put towards the fucking rent. You can't do nothing. You finna ask me for gas money. Go to your mammy house. I'm not what the fuck y'all acting like y'all helping somebody? These niggas ain't making no damn money like that. Get your ass on somewhere with that shit.
Now, statistically, we know the truth of the conversation that men are making more, across the board on average than women are. So a lot of these women are dealing with men that are actually statistically bums, and it feels good. It sounds good. One of our favorite, little things on the soundboard. It sounds good. It sounds better. When you deal with a man that you feel is less than you, it's a form of security. Like, hey, I can get rid of you anytime. You can't hurt me because you need me more than I need you. But when you're with someone that actually challenges you and says, hey, the habits that you develop throughout your entire life, the things that you believe are the best things about you, they're shit. They're what's keeping you locked in place. It was keeping you right here where you are. You think you're making moves and you're not doing anything. That's scary. Imagine someone came to your life and say, hey, you get up at 5:30 in the morning to go to the gym. That ain't shit. You need to be getting up at 4. You need to be out the bed by 4:15. This is what people over here do. This is what they do. This is how they move. You don't want to really hear that because you're very proud of what you've been able to accomplish, even though it's not really where you want to be. You're talking about a Sonic meal as if this is the holy grail. If this is what Indiana fought across and hijacked his way, right? Bordering cultural appropriation. This is what he did all that for. No, it's not. It's not. This is not what Han Solo in India fought for. This is not what it is. You don't want to face the real truth that someone in your life is going to tell you you're not good enough. You're used to dealing with bums because they make you feel like you're good enough, but then find it really convenient to complain about them at the same time. If you think that person's coming to your life allows you to buy a Sonic meal, allows you to get a Wendy's 4 for $4, we don't really have a lot to talk about. We're not really sharing the same sun. We're not under the same sun. We're not breathing the same air. It's not to say you can't rise from where you are. It's not to say you can't do better. I never want to make that seem as if that's what I'm talking about here. I wanted to have a realistic conversation about how do you get from A to Z. You don't get there by pretending like it's someone else's fault, by pretending like you don't benefit from someone coming and saying, here are your bills. Let me take care of half of them. You believe the lie because they told you a man is supposed to pay you all your bills. You don't even realize that this is a relatively new concept that you've been parroting. 10 years ago, you weren't saying this. 10 years ago, you were proud to pay on your bills because that's what the lie was. That was, or what the new truth was. This is what you should be proud of. This is what you should be doing. You don't even see they diametrically switched up the entire thing and you didn't even blink. You simply accepted it. You came of age and you decided it's my turn to date. This is what men should be doing. Even if you went to your aunties and uncles and such from the previous generation, you can't listen to your advice. You can't adhere to the advice because it's so anathema to what you said. This is why they don't have to lie to you. You've already believed it. You've already been bribed to believe it. There's nothing else I really have to do to you, say to you, to make you understand this is the way it's supposed to be. We'll continue. We'll give you another example.
Because the reality is, as a woman, because I'm sexy and because I'm hot and because I'm cunning, daring, and audacious, I'm always going to be collecting and receiving money from other men. But you, the man who have chosen to be close to me and to access this side of me, not only will you have to also be giving me money, but I don't ever think that you can stop giving me money because other men are giving me money. Don't worry about what other men are doing. Worry about what I require of you and worry about whether you're meeting those requirements within a very reasonable time that I've asked you to, because we're going to have some problems and you won't see me again. That's how I run my government.
So listen, I I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that I'll never see you again. If my position is, I'm simply supposed to give you because other men have gave you in the past. Whatever relationship with these other men are is not my relationship with you. That's not how I'm supposed to live my life. That's not how I care to live my life. And if you are used to dealing with simps, men that simply decide that what you're saying goes, right? And we're not here to ever shame women for saying that what they want in their life is what they want in their life. We get that. We're just saying that you have to also understand that men have their appropriate response, right? Yes, when they're strong in it. Yo, Echo, shout out to you. Listen, you've been consistent on the channel. Your opinion has never, ever swayed, right? This is what you believe in. This is how you move. This is how you shake. So I appreciate it, consistency. You would have seen me again, promise. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gone. I don't want to do any of this. I don't want to do any of this. If this is how you want to run your ship, run your ship. This is how you want to run your government. I'll take that from the people in the UK. I like a lot of their slang. I like that. You know, I'll run my government. I like that. Right? Listen, if anyone from the UK, you want to drop me a bunch of, give me a quick little rundown of the most common little slang that you guys use over there. I'm going to try to integrate it because it sounds sophisticated. Right? I'm kind of fascinated with a lot of languages. But besides that, you guys understand how this goes. If she's telling you, yo, you got to pay me because other men are paying me, you got to be comfortable because other men are currently paying me. And you're supposed to find some way to be okay with that. That's not it. That's not how the way it's supposed to be. If that's how you like to move, that's how you want to rock out. I got no problem with that. But when you end up in tint, crashing out, leave the rest of us alone.
I got road rage, been burning rubber so reckless. I'ma crash out. I got road rage, I've been burning rubber so reckless. I'ma crash out. I got road rage, I've been burning rubber so reckless. I'ma crash out. I got road rage, I've been burning rubber so reckless. I'ma crash out. Got 100K on my wrist and my.
So listen, again, as we go from section to section, we want to tell you we appreciate your attention. If you're new here, you're checking out, shout out to the replay game. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. Right? Stretch goal, we're trying to get to 4,000, then 5,000, then of course 100,000. That is the name of the game. We want to push. And we're not crazy. We understand that a lot of this goal is going to be a multi-year goal. But in the meantime, we want to show you, hey, we want to show you that it's possible. We want to show you that in the midst of it, we realize it, we're cognizant, we're breaking the fourth wall, right? Breaking the fourth wall. We're breaking the fourth wall. We're understanding that this is going to be a multi-year endeavor, and we're going to do what it takes. We're going to sit here. We're going to try. We're going to change up the style. We're going to change it up. And we want to have a history of what it was. You guys would be the, hey, remember, I was supporting that bum from New York when a lot of this was in the very beginning, right? I was in there, right? I saw the outtakes. I saw the missteps. Look what he has now, a whole production team. It looks good. It looks solid. It rivals some very, very poor news stations, but it rivals them. It rivals C-SPAN. It's not as boring. That's a goal. Small incremental changes over time. But with that, by the time we look back, we don't recognize it. And that's a little piece of genderless advice. This is how we should be. We should always be looking to improve. Those of you that have friends that are not looking to do the same, do you a favor. Cut them loose. Right? Cut them loose. Yeah, let them crash out about it if they feel so inclined. That being said, some crash outs are dangerous. Some crash outs are reflective of a time in which mental instability is becoming more and more common. And it's awful. And sometimes it leads to a loss of life and even the loss of innocence. But we want to talk about it. We want to cover it. We want to cover the crash out. Let's take a look.
A 30-year-old woman is now accused of killing her on-again, off-again boyfriend and his parents. And investigators also say that she considered killing her own parents as well.
According to court documents, the suspect, Lambert's girlfriend, 30-year-old Jenna Strobel, told investigators that she killed him in his car after giving him a massage. The filing for her detention in Will County says she met him that night with an intention to hurt him, but didn't expect to have the nerve to do it. During the massage, they say Strobel pointed the gun at the back of Lambert's head for what she estimated to be about 8 minutes, contemplating putting the gun down several times before ultimately pulling the trigger. After the shooting, the filings say she smoked a cigarette, drove to Lambert's parents' home, and shot them. She also said she considered killing her own parents, but couldn't go through with it. As for a motive, the filing was not specific, with Strobel saying she didn't feel the children she shared with Lambert were safe with him or his parents. The Will County State's attorney in his petition said the defendant orchestrated the plan to kill 3 individuals with no real motive other than a general dislike for them. It goes.
Listen, how many of you have a general dislike for the opposite sex? Especially as women come online and say, yeah, I hate men. When they're very vocal with that. So you're there getting a massage by your significant other, and she's got a gun pointing your head for as long as it takes the same time it takes light to come from the sun to hit Earth. And then she says, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. The difference here that I want to highlight, the very difference here that I want to highlight is that this is what often happens when you listen to the broadcast. And if you want to look for it, let me know, email me, I'll send you the link and all that. Or, let me know in this comment section of this video. You look at how they try to humanize her, what she did. The man, terrible. He shot his girlfriend. Bam. Mother of his kids. Bam. You see how they snuck that in, right? Kids, multiple. Snuck that in. She didn't think he was safe with that. No. Boom. Killed the kids. Right? Kill the father of the kids. Boom. Moving on. Bum, bum, bum. Parents. I don't like you guys either. Boom, boom. Kills them. You try to humanize her character. It's the same thing they did with Taylor Franklin Paul. You've got this on videotape. Her chucking a seat. Boom, kid right there. TMZ was happy to point that out with a little ding. What does ABC do? Have on one of the daily shows, the morning shows. Finally humanize her, give her a chance to talk about what her point of view was. How was this? Why is this excusable? And I'm not trying to say in the terms of, hey, we're trying to preach for the equality, the equity. We're not trying to talk about that. We're trying to say, why is it okay? Why is it okay for you to reveal you're just as human as the rest of us men? You're just as awful as the rest of us. You get to behave in these sort of ways. And we're sitting here constantly saying, hey, let me tell you why it's okay. Let me tell you why this behavior is okay. Rather than saying this is just despicable. And the same thing we do with the men. We can look at this one of two ways. Either you start treating men with kid gloves, make them equitable to women, or you start treating women the same as men. If a man did this, what would we say? Throw my brother into jail. Never to be seen again. I don't want to hear about him. I don't want to see about a parole. I don't want his name to come across my screen. Put him out of jail. Let me forget about him. The only way I want to hear about him is like, shit, man, dude got knifed. We got knifed. And we want to sit there and be like, that's kind of the game, right? That's kind of the game. But for men, what we often don't understand, what we often don't get, right? Oh, yo, what's up? God, you made the stream. Again, if you hear, like the stream, subscribe to the stream. If you're not in the chat, I don't know. I don't know you're here. And when the chat slows up, when no one's saying anything, I think you're all logged off, right? So my boy Dre said, you got to get comfortable kind of just accepting that you might be talking to yourself. And I got to get used to that. So this is an effort to get used to that. If I'm just talking to myself, I'm talking to myself. I'm going to try to have a good time, right? So when you guys kicking back, maybe you got an ear, maybe you're doing laundry. It is a Sunday. And I don't see your chat's not moving.
It sounds good.
I just got to have the production for myself. And that's what I'm going to try to enjoy myself. But we're going to continue. We still got a lot of show left. We got still a show left and we still got the main event. But what men are saying, what we often have trouble understanding is when you're being lied to, right? How don't you know? Or is it that you do know when you're being pandered to? And some of it I get, right? For instance, Ace Metaphor is really good at pandering. He's really good at pandering to you. Make it sound good. Sometimes he'll challenge men, sometimes he'll challenge women, and it'll sound good. But in general, we don't understand. Like, you don't get it. You don't get that he's trying to say the same thing to you to relieve and separate you from your hard-earned money into his pockets. So what we're left with is us regular men, our everyday men, our Clark Kents. We don't get it. We're looking there, we're saying, Lois, why are you into this guy? Right? Technically, the guy shouldn't be Superman, but should be Batman, who's a playboy philanthropist, similar to Iron Man. But that's a not so deep cut if you're into DC. But listen, besides me showing a little bit of my nerdy side, we'll let the clip roll.
You got a girl, you got a job. Whenever you get paid, you should be at least sending her half your check. She shouldn't have to pay. All she got to do is look good for you.
So for those of you that can't, because it's kind of low, and I can't fix that without ruining the second part of this video. It's a video where the guy's saying, "Yo, all your girl should do is look good for you. That's why you should be sending her half your check." Most of us hear this, and realistically, we should be struggling to keep our laughter in by holding our sides in so our sides don't bust. Because this is actually resistant. Oh, let me throw a pause in that bust part. This is absolutely ridiculous. Send her $1,000, send her $1,500, send her $30, send her $3,000 because she's got to look good. So that's all you need her to do.
Problem is, it's going to work. That's the thing, ladies. They're gonna eat it up. Like, so you mean to tell me
When you lie, women buy, bro.
buy?
That's the line right there. That's the line that a lot of us are confused by. When men lie, women buy. Is that all it takes? I had someone comment on one of the videos, and they said you'd get a lot more attention, you get a lot more views if you just devalued women. We're breaking the fourth wall real quick. If you just devalue women, you would get a lot more likes, attention, all that. This page would probably have double, triple the amount of subscribers, maybe double the amount of views if we spent more time saying, y'all women ain't shit. It ain't shit. And they ain't shit. You never been shit. You never gonna be shit. The problem is I got a dope ass sister. Right? I got a dope ass sister. I got a dope ass mom. I know some dope fucking women. Some of them are a little harebrained. Some of them got a little untouched, undiagnosed ADHD, but they're fucking awesome. They're fucking awesome. And it feel a betrayal. It would feel as a betrayal just dogging them in order to advance a view count, a subscriber count. If we couldn't have the real conversation of nuances saying, hey, some of us make choices in our lives early on, and then it leads us to positions that we're not so favorable, but we can overcome that. Let's have conversations how to overcome that. This is not to say that there are a lot of people that are being goofy on both sides, but we're going to focus on women right now. There's a lot of goofy women out there. There's a lot of goofy women out there. One of the reasons on this page why we focus on them so heavily is because society doesn't focus on them. Society doesn't say much about what they got going on. It pretends like it's fine, like it's always the man's fault. That most of the things that go wrong is because a man failed to do X, Y, and definitely Z. Realistically, we understand that the platform that we used to put women on by default, the millennial generation said, let me grab the leg of that platform, and you yanked it. We yanked it when we simultaneously gave you social media. We said, aha, you told on yourselves. You told on yourself. You said, hey, we ain't shit either. We're human. And we had to take that, and whether or not you were R-pilled, whether or not you were black-pilled, whether or not you were MGTOW, you had the opportunity to realize the real truth. Yo, y'all are just like us. Y'all human. And humans get down in the mud. We get filthy. We're not that far removed from the Neanderthal cousins of us. We get down. Outside of the raised brow ridges, and again, that's me showing my former anthropology major. We don't get down. We get down just the same way. We'll do you dirty and tell your friends. Shout out to Rockley. Right? If you know that. We'll do you dirty. Stop thinking we are above doing you like that, because we will, especially when it comes down to our happiness. And shout out to women, right? And if you're new here, we're going to go black and white for a second again. If you're new here, we say all the time, I say we as a royal we, because we like to be inclusive. Not inclusive like the DEI they wanted you to believe. Inclusive like we're in this together. We're in this together, right? It's an easy tribe. It's an easy clan. Protect the brand. What we're saying here, we want you to believe the hype. That's what they told you. They want you to believe the nonsense, but we know the truth. You're just as dirty as us. Whenever women come on saying, I can't believe a man did this, there's a woman that did it with him. Unless we're talking about Atlanta, right? Unless we're talking about Atlanta, then you know, toss a coin, right? Toss a coin. And if you live in Atlanta, shout out to you guys, but I never believed in the Black Mecca hype. Right? You all wanted to go there because you all wanted to have fun, and then look what you did to it. You got nasty. you guys got nasty, right? But shout out to you guys, nasty people, right? Nasty people, enjoying yourselves, doing what you want. Yeah, clutch your pearls all you want, Jasmine. Right? Listen again. And we get specific. Sometimes I want to shout out specifically some of you guys, right? Off the dome, right? You know. Tavares, Marissa. And if I'm dead naming you guys, deal with them. I'm sorry. Tavares, Marissa, Jasmine, we had a conversation today about a lot of stuff. Remember what I told you, the advice I gave you, who to talk to tomorrow morning. I want to hear what you did with such and said and give me the play-by-play, right? Blair, I haven't seen you in the chat, but you, my mans, and them, we go back and forth all the time. Dre, I was just at your place. Shout out to you. You're doing a great job as a father. You're inspiration to all of us. Some of you that not Echo, you in the chat. Guys, from the beginning, I don't know when Echo joined the channel, right? So some of you guys know me in real life. You supported me from day one, and I appreciate you guys, right? Some of you guys have said it's about time you started doing this, knowing my life, knowing my schedule, knowing the things that I like to get into, knowing how I get obsessive about a lot of this stuff. Shout out to you guys. Look at me, say I always believed in you, right? Marissa, you're a big one with that, right? Tavares, thank you. Always the official moderator. The the co-producer of the merch, always shouting out there like I couldn't do these streams without you. Sniping people that got negative shit to say. Sometimes when we're just trying to give back, we're trying to helpful. Specifically, the first subscriber to the channel, Jasmine, that was you. I appreciate you. That's why I'm constantly trying to give back to you. Keep running your body away, enjoying your life, doing what you got to do. But check in when you need help. I'm all for that. Infinity MTG, your insight is always appreciated. I see you. Sometimes I see you guys. Sometimes I see you guys commenting on the channels. It's irrational. I get jealous. Like, what are you doing over here? You comment over me and my stuff. Although some of you guys have 100+ comments on this channel. For the record, I want to set something straight. If you are new to the channel, you got something to say and it's profound or it's negative, and I'll always check and see how long you've have you subscribed. I can't really see easily if you subscribe to the channel, but it'll show how many times you commented on the channel. And sometimes I'll be ready to prepare I want to have the back and forth. I want to talk to you guys. But if you come here, you just have a negative thing to say, and it's the first time you comment on the channel, I delete it immediately. Like what I was going to reply to you. If this is your first comment on the channel, I don't really care. Like come around, talk that ish. Like Third Eye, McGenki Sharingan, like you guys support all the time, right? I forgot his entire monocle, but I think the first one is Lance. You guys come around, you support, new to the channel, you love it. This stuff keeps me motivated. When you guys sometimes come and say, yo, I appreciate blah, 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 blah. Hey, I love this, blah, blah, blah. Even someone saying, I don't know how you have so little subscribers. I said, the algorithm hates me, but we're going to keep doing what we're going to do. If we got to form a little cult and rebel, this is what we're going to do. But besides that, this is the lifeblood of the channel. This is what makes it worth it. This is what it reinvigorates me. I can't tell you how timely a lot of the comments are when it comes and says, yo, this is dope. Keep doing what you're doing. Because I'll be ready to say, you know what? We're going to do a year of that discipline, that 2 days, and we're going to say, you were good. Good luck, YouTube. If we made it to 4,000 subscribers by June, we're going to say, hey, listen, let this be an ode to everyone else and say, this is what you can do when you sit here and you're disciplined. But I got other things I got to do in my life that seem more worth the effort that I'm putting in. And then I'll see one of your comments and say, all right, let's keep going. Let's keep making this happen. Let's keep doing this damn thing. It reinvigorates. So if you're ever on a channel, you're watching a video, let's correct that. If you're watching one of my videos and say, that was a good video, but you just think it to yourself, you subscribe, like, or comment there, share it. So, donate to the channel. These things make me see like, oh shit, well, wow. Ross can tell you, there's one morning she said, yo, someone bought a shirt, the Protect the Brand shirt. I was like, damn. For whatever reason, that made me feel really good. That made me feel really good. These things matter. And if I don't communicate them to you, you guys don't really, right? It's not about the money. It's that your attention and then the comments and the feedback. What we want to do here, we want to have the conversation. We want to see where we can improve and change people's lives, because this is what it's all about, right? And you know it's real because I'm saying this because it's black and white right now. You know it's real. This is what matters. When we can have the real conversation on these things, then we have progress. Then we have movement. Outside of that, when we just kind of pretending, then it doesn't really make a difference. People that subscribe but never really check in, I don't know you checked in. I don't know that you're active. I'm trying to have a more healthy approach for this. So a lot of times I will post and I'll keep it moving, right? Because people that know me IRL in real life, if you're new here, or if my mom's watching, IRL means in real life. My aunt and Callie's watching. Shout out to you. You made some lovely children. I will get obsessive with the numbers and say, why isn't this working? Why isn't it happening? And I know I need to take a step back from that and not get obsessive with that. So the task put upon you guys, like the video, share the video, hype the video, subscribe to the channel. These things make all the difference, right? These things make all the difference. But besides that, we're going to continue. Right? One of the things that I got to sift through, right? I got to sift through a lot of nonsense. I come across a lot of stuff that bothers me. Makes me feel icky. Makes me feel bad. And sometimes there's a lesson in there. What we often don't understand that there's a separation. There's a separation. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't make you feel better about yourself as a person, but there's a separation that happens. I talk about this a lot, or not enough. You guys can tell me, you guys can make the decision yourself. Of the conversation I had with a flight attendant years ago, black dude. And I was reading the new Jim Crow. I just finished it, right? And I'm one of those guys that, let me guys know you show it's real. When I finish a book, especially on a plane, I gotta sit with it. Right? It's like a satisfying meal. For those of you like steak, it's a satisfying steak. Right? You're smacking your lips, you're bumping your gums. You want to taste that. You want to savor it. Right? You want to savor it. I had a phenomenal meal, lunch. It was in Malta. Shout out to Malta. Didn't know it was a Michelin star, but we happened upon it. Michelin star had some lamb chops, the sauce. Wanted to savor it, right? I could keep it on my pinky finger and sample it from time to time and keep it fresh. I would. That good. So ask me at the end of a book. I gotta keep it fresh. But I'm talking to this flight attendant, and he said, I'm talking about the black community, the black plight. How can we uplift all of us? How can we enrich our lives to let go of the curse of the twerk that keeps us in place, but gyrating left to right, right? How can we let go of that, but not so much? And he said, like the Jews leaving Egypt, we're not all going to make it. I had to sit with that for a while. long while, I sat with that. And by a long while, I mean like 48, 72 hours. He said, we're not all going to make it. It's hard to imagine that. It's hard to think about that. We're not all going to make it. And it's the very same thing with the struggle right now. We're trying to enhance, we're trying to improve our own lives. We're trying to make things make sense. For those of us that are enlightened, for those of us that want better outcomes, we're trying to see what can we do to get there. We have to realize not all is going to make it. It's a race. It's a marathon, yet a sprint. Not that Greek sprint, 26.2 miles, where your dude end up dead at the end. We don't want to die at the end. We want to understand that it's going to take the best of us to pave the way. You got to go through the door, right? Jasmine, I'm talking to you right now. You got to go through the door. Yo, first of all, Jonathan Whitman, shout out to you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Echo, my friend, listen, yes, thank you. Being here from early on, making me feel like this thing has legs. You guys don't understand how much that means, how much that means. So listen, some of us, you got to go through the door. You got your family here waiting for you, right? Saying, hey, what can we do? Your family's sitting there waiting, wondering, and they're looking and say, maybe I should buy that book in the back, right? Maybe I should get that. They're looking and wondering, that guy wrote a book? Look at it right there. He wrote a book, right? Maybe I should get that. While I'm waiting for you to make it in life, I should get that book. I believe you should do that. But outside of the shameless pandering we're trying to do, you got to sometimes go through that door. Right? I'll use my own example. I'll use my family as an example. And I remember, right? And I hope you guys don't mind the detour in the video. This would be more like a regular back and forth section, but we're doing it right now because the opportunities presented itself, and we like to be true to the format. When I was 17 years old, right, I wanted to go to prom. Who doesn't want to go to prom? I want to go to prom. I wanted to slow dance with my missus, my significant other, my ace boon coon, right? These were not terms we had back then for them, but I wanted to do that, all that. And so I'll go to my mom, right? Because she was breadwinner at the time. My father had a business, and, you know, entrepreneurship is up and down. Shout out to my father, shout out to my mom. Shout out to my mom because she's here on this planet. She can still comment stuff. It could be reported that I was having this conversation with her about her. Yeah, some don't want to be saved, but we're going to ignore those that don't want to be saved, right? Oh, see, this is why she's the number one admin right here. Get the book, right? Got the link right there. Check it out. Listen, when I say it's a book, it's not like a ebook. It's a self-help book. It's an actual novel. 200-300 plus pages. It's actual novels, characters and shit. There's lessons, all that shit. Like, read it, right? Take a little sample. Again, you'll like it. So, I wanted to go to prom. My mom said, you know what? You could get a job. You could get a job. I never thought about getting it. That's been my relationship with my mom early on in my life. She always told me, hey, you can do something. That was the underlying message. You can do it. 7 years old. My mom's watching Oprah, right? Oprah had the black community stranglehold. You had to watch it. You had to watch it. Hold. I go to my mom, 7 o'clock at night. Right? Hey, mommy. I call my mom mommy. If you don't shout out, I don't know what to tell you. My mom's always going to be mommy. Give yourself. I don't know what to tell you. I said, mommy, can you make me some oatmeal? She said, how about you make it yourself? And my mind opened up, right? The cooking part of my mind opened up, right? Insert door opening, AOL door opening, someone signed on. Say, yo, you're right. It wasn't a pushback. Said, no, I want you to make it. No, it was like, she knew the type of child she had, inquisitive. He just kind of had to have a lot of the doors open for him first. Open the door. Hey, I'll walk right through it. A lot of you got to walk through that door. Even when you go and make a mess like I did, right? That instant oatmeal, I put the flame on high. I boiled the water. I instantly put the oatmeal in, and I sat there and looked. No stirring, no modulating of the heat, of the water, the temp, nothing. I overcooked that immediately. It bubbled over in a weird magma eruption of oats, right? And meal, quote unquote meal, came everywhere. Pause, right? I'm from New York. Right? We always got to pause. New York came everywhere, right? The stove and what's his name? The guy in the oatmeal. What's his name? He came everywhere. He had a great time. I did not. I had to eventually clean it up when it cooled. It did not deter me from the excitement I felt from making something and failing. I walked through the door. A lot of you have to walk through the door, then come back and get your people, get your family. They may not be ready to do better. It is incumbent upon you to say, I will do it for you. I will set the table. I will tell you, hey, maybe you can get a job. Hey, maybe you can make it yourself. And their eyes will light up because they did not realize they could do it themselves. Again, lean into my own family, my own example. I had to walk through that door. I did the thing. And all the while, I set the table for my family, for my brother specifically. I saw a lot of me and him. We are so similar. If you talk to us on the phone, you do not know us intricately, you would say, I think I'm talking to one or the other. I do not know. If you want to know the difference, my brother's more handsome. He's more talented. He has better hair. He has made a phenomenal daughter who's currently going through a little fussy phase, and we hope she gets through it. I am the stubborn one. I will bang my head against the wall until I get a thing done, and it just kind of works out. But talent-wise, that's him. Banging your head against the door. The only advantage I have on my brother, and you call it advantage if you were on the outside, is that I'm ahead of him in years. Not that much. Not that much. I entered the workforce earlier. I had my life changed by witnessing what happens in reality and what I do. I went back and reported to him, and I realized some things I was trying to teach him. It was too early to teach him. It was too early for him to realize the game. I didn't despair. I didn't get mad. I simply said, let me set the table. Let me set that table, then the next table, and the next table. So as he grows, then he goes and sits and has lunch here at this bistro, street level, right? Streets are still dingy, but it's inside. It's a decent place. I meet him there and say, hey, what have you learned? He tells me. I say, cool. I'm impressed. Great. Grow with that. Sit with that. I'm going to come back and tell me what you learned. What does it mean for you? Because very easily you can think that I'm going to simply suborn his ideas, his lifestyle. No, let him tell you what he learned. Let him take his version of what the things you wanted to teach him and come back and say, this is what it means to me. Okay. Hey, then you watch him grow. You watch him walk through the next door you walked through before. One of those doors was simply simple. I'll say this. One of those doors is $100,000 door. I remember when I first made $100,000, I was maybe 27, 28 years old. And I was like, this is it. I'm going to buy all the video games. I'm going to buy all this nonsense. I'm going to be the man. I'm going to do all. And what happens? You make that 100,000 and you sit with that for a couple of years. You rock with that for a couple of years and you sit there and you realize that you climbed this mountain. You finally made it. You made the $100,000. You climbed the mountain and then the clouds parted, the fog lifted, the morning rays hit, the dew evaporated, and you realize this $100 ain't shit. It ain't shit. You're on top of a hill. It's not a mountain. It's a hill. Now you start to see how some of the game is being played and you realize that was the first door. That was it. You walk through the door and you realize that was all it was. You thought this was the end of the race. It's just a door. So what did I do? I said, okay, let me prepare the door for my brother. Let me just prepare the door. So when he has an opportunity to hit that six figures, he doesn't waste time. Like I wasted time. Wondering, I got this big 6-figure salary. I'm the man because everyone said online I was the man. You're not the man. You haven't made it. So, set the table. If I could reduce his time wallowing, thinking he made something of himself when he hit that 6-figure, if I could reduce his time by a day, I've won. I hope to think I reduced it by years. But that was my goal. You walk through the door, and that's your goal. For a lot of you, you walk through the door for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones, from whatever. People that are looking at you, inspire you. You walk through the door, you come back and say, hey, let me save you some time. Let me be your informal mentor. You never really acknowledge your mentor. Maybe till your deathbed, you get it. I hope I do that for some of you. I hope I do it for some of you on the channel. I hope I do some of you that I talk to on the regular in real life. Jasmine, I tell you all the time, I made you. Why would I play you? I trained you. Why would I play you? Right? But in realistically, a lot of this stuff is a back and forth. I learned as much from you guys as you learn from me. I hope that as you learn from me. The way you guys interact, the way you move in the world, it's not to be discounted because it's not my way. It's very real. It's very intrinsic. It matters. And it helps color my world. Without you guys, I wouldn't understand a lot of things that I understand today. My emotional intelligence would not be where it is. Thank you to my brother. Thank you to Blair. Wouldn't be where it is. So that's the goal. Thank you for enjoying this little side rant that I did for a little bit, but we got more show. So back to what I was saying. One of the things that we have to understand is some of us, we're not going to make it, right? Because the things that we value, the things that we exalt, right? That's a biblical world, right? Shout out to Esther coming in. That's a biblical world. If you're new here, like the channel, subscribe to the channel. If you still feel so motivated, you can donate. The link is right there. You can take a look right there. Boom, boom, boom on the banner. It ain't easy on Venmo, so easy money. Cash App. Of course, you can send a super chat, but just know YouTube wants a cut of that. But besides that, share the video. Your attention is what I actually value. You subscribe to the channel, you returning and saying, hey, I like this. If you want to go really further, right? Outside of the merch, outside of all that, outside of spending your money, you email me, say, hey, I had a question about X, Y, and Z. I love if you can expound upon that. I would appreciate that. That support, right? Even if no one views that video that we make, that we create, that we talk about this for 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes, if it's only you that has that like and say, I appreciate you listening to what I had to say, that matters to me. That matters more than anything else to me. We're trying to make a difference in your life, in your attention, what matters to you. This is what I'm talking about. But we understand some of us are not going to get it because the way we were brought up, some of the things that we value aren't really in line with reality. They don't really make sense. They don't really fall in line. Sometimes we don't know what we should be appreciating, or we don't know some things are signs that we should absolutely simply run away from.
That's why you gotta love hood niggas. Like, say what you want to say about their bathroom. It might be a little dusty, it might be a little dirty. But bitch, they got the tissue and the wipes for the hoes. They gonna get the hoes together. That's why I fuck with hood niggas. You feel me? They gonna keep the bitches together. Feel me? Bitch, you can have the bougiest nigga, he ain't gonna have no wipes. Bitch, some hood niggas gonna have them wipes on deck because they gonna keep a bitch together and know what a bitch need. Bitch, I'm in the trap. Bitch, and they got the huggiest wipes. Don't play with them. Don't play with them. That's why you gotta love.
Like, was that a motorcycle in the bathroom? When you don't know any better, you start to appreciate the smallest things. He's got wipes in the bathroom, wipes that are currently exposed and drying out to the air, drying out to whatever particulates is particulating in that bathroom. But you have time to say, this is why I appreciate hood niggas, because they have wipes in the bathroom. Not that their outcomes are going to do me any better, not that they are going to change my life. They have wipes. This is why I say some of us, you got to leave alone. Some of us are not going to make it. I'll pee outside. Yeah. I'll pee outside in your hydrangeas as I see myself out. As I see myself out. I don't know. I mean, for some of you, if all it takes is some wipes, if that's all you need, let me know. If all it takes is some wipes, let me know if that's what impresses you. But I'm being facetious. I know the truth, right? One, I don't mess with hood chicks. Oh God! If you impress with wipes, then I'm you would have a malfunction with the rest of my life. The things that I constantly do, or the rigorous or the discipline I sort of exude, you'd kind of have a heart attack. Kind of be upset. This is how I'm trying to live. This is what I'm trying to do. These are my goals. These are goals that should scare me. What would they do to you because you were impressed with wipes? That's why I say sometimes you got to be, like the flight attendant was saying, some of us ain't going to make it. Some of us ain't going to make it. This is all you need. This is all you need to feel like, wow, I'm excited. Wow, this is killing it. So, yes, use the wipes and clean the bathroom. I think there was a motorcycle in there, a moped, something in there. Something mechanical was in that bathroom. Yeah, where did I find these videos? So Marissa and I, we have very real conversations about this. We have two different internets. Two different internets. The things that are sent to you, upstanding women, right, of character, are not what's sent to me. Because one, I had to go looking for it. The algorithm said, oh, I'm confused by your demographic, by your data, by the cookies I constantly steal from your subscriptions or from where you log in, all this, because it says you're not this demographic, but you tend to look at some of these stuff. So let me send it to you. Some of the stuff comes to me and I'm scrolling, and sometimes I'm tired, my eyes are blurry, and then they pop open and say, yo, Echo would love this. Echo's going to get a kick out of this. And we got some that are currently loading. Echo, stay tuned. You're gonna love some of this nonsense that we got coming up. Preloaded, all that. But yeah, the algorithm says this is gonna be great for your channel. This will be great for a live. Check this out. I have to sift through and sometimes pare back some of the stuff I'm seeing. Some of the stuff that I say, oh, this would be great. And I say, there's no lesson to be extracted from this, so let's leave it alone. That's what I do a lot of time. There's no lesson here. There's no lesson available. Right? What was that? What was the name of that movie with the vampires? It was Alaska. 20 days later, I think. And then one of the vampires, one of the people that the vampires trapped, they're like, "Oh God, Jesus, help!" And he's like, no God, oh God. Some of these videos, man, there's no God here. This is just terrible nonsense. But the beautiful thing is, this is a shameless plug into the next sport. This is another shameless plug. And if you're new here, again, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Shameless plug. You don't gotta agree or disagree. You just gotta let me know which one. Either one. All right, we're matriculating the live stream down a field. We're currently an hour and 45 minutes in. I'll share with you, I'm constantly worried about talking for length of time. I like to run my mouth, but that's usually with a back and forth. Eventually, we want to create a call-in show. When we get more consistent people on the lives, we can have more back and forth. And then we probably hit that 4-hour mark. But right now, anything over 2 hours, approaching 2 hours, is a win. It's something I've never really done before. I don't know if it garners more attention, more subs, whatever, but it's more fun, right? One of the best things we can do for this, Echo, shout out to you, is more back and forth. So hype in the chat, right? Subscribe to the channel, like the stream. These things matter. These things matter more than your attention is critical for this channel. But agree, disagree. This is part of the back and forth. This is where you get to voice your opinion. This is why you should be in the chat right now. If you're not in the chat, Dust off your thumbs real quick, right? I know it's tired. I know it's Sunday. Dust off your thumbs and let me know what you think about some of these upcoming videos. We got 3 for you. Right? One of the things together today where we are constantly worried or constantly concerned about is divorce. One of the reasons behind divorce, if you're being abused, if he's a piece of shit, if she's a piece of shit, yes, divorce should be on the table. It's fine, whatever, right? Whatever you believe. But you should not have to stay in a situation that you do not believe is decent for you, is good for you. Part of the issue today is very simple. The friends, the influencers, other people that are in your marriage inadvertently. They're telling you what you should believe in without telling you why you should believe in these things. They are simply there to support you and support whatever lie you are currently telling yourself. Whatever lie you adopted from reality is telling you this is what you should believe in. And you run with it. So when someone tells you, when you go to your friends and you tell them, hey, Easy's a piece of shit. We're having a fight about X, Y, and Z, or X, Y, and Z for my UK brethren out there. This is how I feel about blah, blah, blah. They're going to support you because that is their role. They're going to believe what you had to say about me, the whole me. But when you and I make up, when I come and say, babe, I was tripping. I was sort of insecure because I'm afraid that you were outside of my league. Or whatever pattern thing I got to say to make you feel good. You don't go and tell your friends, hey, no, he was wrong about that. He apologized. Or you don't go and tell your friends, and this is the truth. You don't tell your friends you were wrong. You don't tell your friends, I messed up. He was right about that. I was wilding. I should never have stepped out like that. I should never have ignored what he said because he was right about blah, blah, blah. He actually wants to invest in me. He's concerned with my well-being. He wants me to be better than I was before I met him. You don't tell your friends any of that. You just tell him he's a piece of shit and we had this fight. What are they going to do? They run to the default gamut. They run to the default game. I'm going to support you. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to hear because my role, first and foremost, is to support you. It doesn't matter that this was a blip in time. For them, it's a roadmap. They believe you. They believe everything you have to say. Now, we can understand, we can fight with your friends. But when you believe the influencer, these influencers don't know you. These influencers don't care about you whatsoever, but you believe what they have to say. You ignore that they have very real consequences, a very real impact into your own life and well-being. But let's take a look.
The most dangerous person in your marriage has 847,000 followers and has never met you, but your spouse watches them every night. I'm not exaggerating when I say that social media has changed the nature of what I watched unfold in divorce cases. The comparisons are constant. The access to other people, real and imagined, is constant. The drip feed of other lives that look better, easier, and more exciting than yours is constant. And here's what that does to a marriage. It manufactures dissatisfaction of things that were fine. I went through a high conflict divorce myself. I know what the end of a real relationship costs. And I watch people now risk that cost for a version of life they saw on a screen, built by strangers who are also miserable, but post better than you do. The algorithm is not rooting for your marriage. It is optimized for your attention. And your attention is most easily captured by the belief that somewhere, someone is living a life better than yours. They are not. I promise you.
That part. They're not living a life better than you. They simply know how to work the algorithm. Worse yet, I was listening to something DJ Academics posted, and I'm not a fan of DJ. I'm not a fan of men that are very well much versed in the gossip of other people, especially other men. But recognize that there's a bread and butter for that. There's a real space for that. And you guys determine what that space is, right? You guys get to determine what matters, what's important, and you support that. So I won't ever knock a man's hustle. Won't ever do that. But he revealed when he was trying to grow his platform on TikTok, they said they basically have a button they will press that will seed you to multiple people, to the majority of people. They went further and said, here are the trending things that are going to happen in the next week, next 2 weeks. We have this planned out. We have this set. These influencers are not better than you in any stretch of the imagination. They have captured the moment. And then because they captured the moment, conglomerates, companies, they're willing to invest in them and say, be the face of whatever trend, be the face of whatever button we're trying to press and mobilize. We're going to reward you with attention, which rewards you with more airtime will reward you with more money, with brand deals. It's a win-win situation for us. You just have to embody whatever we're trying to say. We're telling you what we're trying to say ahead of time. So the influencers don't really know better than you. Don't really and especially don't know what's better for you in your relationship. The people that know that are you and whomever you're in a relationship with. Don't forget I said whomever, so you know it's smart. You know it's true. These people get what you're saying. These people understand the stakes that you're playing with. They care about the outcomes more than anyone else do because it's their life. If you have someone else, some influence, some other person that you have no real way to get in contact with outside of sending them a DM, but I have to know that there's probably and let's be fair. Right? Let's be fair. If someone has 800,000, subscribers, followers, Instagram, how many DMs are they actually replying to? People that have check marks on their Instagram have a different DM system than the riffraff like us. When you are watching Brunson, when you're watching LeBron, when you're watching these people get it in, it's their birthday, the playoffs, and you say, yo, LeBron, when you hit Chris Brown up and say, happy birthday, Chris Brown, as a man, you think he gets it? You think he actually gets it? And he looks at it and says, thank you, user 347P. You think he gets that, and he's moved by that enough to reply to you, or he's got a whole different system that's filters for people that actually have check marks, people that are actually verified, people that are in the industry that matter. You don't matter in this sort of sense. It feels good to think you do, but you absolutely don't. These influencers, it's a one-way parasocial relationship. What they have to say changes your life. What you subscribe and how you give the attention means nothing in the grand scheme. It's a line item. You watch their video, you increase their revenue by 15 cents. But thousands of you do it, millions of you do it. Except you don't affect their lives. They know they're putting on a performance for their media, for their brand. You, on the other hand, you emulate what they're saying. You take what they're saying to heart because somehow you made your attention attached to these people. They don't know you, but they're in your relationship. They're telling you because he stacked the bowls incorrectly, he doesn't love you. And it's evidenced by if he's not listening to you in these small things, he's not going to listen to you in the big things. As if humans are as simple as an input export. As if you don't have any sort of qualities that are bad. As if you don't make any mistakes. As if he doesn't make any mistakes. As if forgiveness was not always the cornerstone of your relationship. You think it's supposed to be perfect because you watch perfect lives. And when it's not, you're confused and you feel cheated. You feel bothered. You feel harassed. And you think, irrationally so, that if only you would leave this person and get very stringent, very strict on your program, you would somehow find the truth. That someone out there would wholeheartedly believe in you and say, I'm going to give you everything you ever needed, ever wanted. I am Prince Charming. I am Prince Charming, Deus Ex Machina. I will come here and save you from all the things immediately. Realistically, we know that's not true. That's just not what's happening. That's not just the real world. That's not even the matrix part of the fake real world. Not what happened. Happen enough, you will reject reality, wake up for the simulation, and be confused. What is actually happening? But part of this conversation is understanding that some of the issues today we have is because we are walking around unhealed without an understanding of what it means to prepare yourself for the next relationship. And what's better is that it's very easy to prepare that and leave that at the feet of men. What sometimes you find, what we talk about a lot of times, is that it's easy for men to pander to women, gay men, straight men. All they have to do is talk about the same things that you readily told us is important to you. It's very easy to talk your language, to talk your lingo. It's like dirty macking. It's not what you should do, but it's what tends to happen over and over and over again. But again, let's continue.
They say that the biggest like man hating, the one who's always like, fuck dudes, men ain't always have the best boyfriends.
I don't understand how you are a woman and you don't hate men.
It's easier for me to be miserable by myself than putting up with any bullshit.
Yes.
I think it's because we were broken and we had to piece it back together ourselves. So it's like, oh, I don't need anyone else.
Yeah, I don't.
If you come in, you have to be bonus.
I think so. You either have to add so much into my life or don't even like enter it at all.
Because you love so hard. That's the thing. When we're
listen, it may just be me. It may just be me. Whenever I find a man sort of just blindly subscribing to the same things that women believe, it gives me secondhand embarrassment. I feel like kind of cringy. Not that men can't wholeheartedly believe in the things that women are saying, but when it feels like dirty macking when men dog other men into saying, "Yo, you like this," or "Men don't lose this. We had to put ourselves together." It's the man's fault. I don't like the conversation when it says that women are basically blameless for anything that's ever happened, as if it's impossible for you to misstep. Think about that. What you're saying, that you're the closest. You don't make mistakes. You're never wrong. That you might as well be whatever religion you believe, Abrahamic or such. You might as well be a Messiah. You might as well be Jesus. You might as well be God. You don't make mistakes. It's not possible for you to be in a relationship and you to misstep, you to say the thing that was wrong and cause some sort of harm in a relationship. No, never. Not. It doesn't happen. It's impossible. Be realistic and be honest with each other. Say that you understand, hey, I messed up. I'm capable of messing up. And I think you'd get a lot farther with men in terms of not understanding what you have to say.
broken, like when we love someone, we give them a piece of our heart. I want to give everything when I am with someone because I'm so broken. I feel like, okay, it's you and I against the world. I'll cook for you. I'll bring peace. I'll invest in your dreams. You know, like we will do everything.
Yeah.
And then when it ended, you're like, I don't want this anymore. I'd rather cry by myself.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
now
And then
when
you grieve.
anyone is not worthy for you coming in, you're like,
Hard wall.
yeah, bye.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna get a little real. Okay? So glasses come on. We're gonna get a little real. This is why sometimes the conversation about when we talk about women, right? We and as men, sometimes when the words come up, and to be fair, right now there's another man in here, so we can say men and women. When you talk about this, I would say personally for me. Please note, I didn't say me personally because I hate that. Right? We already said that. Me, I'm talking about myself. I don't have to say personally. It's already reflective upon me. Me personally, it doesn't make any sense. right? I didn't know. It's personally, continue. Personally, I don't like this type of conversation. I, I, I don't. It makes you, again, personally, it makes you seem weak. Welcome me for a second, right? Welcome me for a second, right? Give me the latitude of completion, right?
Oh God!
It may seem a little wild, but you seem weak to me. That you're unable to properly process a relationship, the end of relationship, no matter how it broke down. Sometimes you need time. The longer relationship, you need half plus a couple to really, scientific, like that's what science says, or that's what social science says. This is time you need to get over a thing. Why do you have the assumption that every relationship is going to work out? And we're talking for relationships since high school, junior high school. Why do you think that's supposed to work out? Why do you think that was going to be the guy? That was the one. Because this didn't work out. Now I'm mad. Maybe I'm not mad, but I think this should have worked out. So now the drama and trauma I took from this, I move it forward and something's wrong with him. He failed to do this. He didn't do this. So now, insert whatever. It sounds weak. You're supposed to, you love this man. Even if it's the new intrinsic love you experience in high school, right? It's a boombox outside. It's the love letters, right? It's all these. It's the notes. Will you go out with me? Yes, no. And she checks maybe, all that. It's the pitter patters. It's the inarticulate holding hands. The peck on the cheek that becomes a little more assured as the lips lock further and further. You move your head side to side as you saw in the movies until you find your own rhythm together. It's the dry humping to which it creates such friction that you're burning as a young boy. But you don't know any better. This is a height of sensation. All of this. And then it breaks up. For whatever petty reason. Whatever. And you're hurt bad, and you never recover. This is genderless. You understand? This is genderless. And you're hurt so bad, you never recover. You take the drama that a 14-year-old boy, 14-year-old girl visited upon you, and you take that forward, you're 30 years old. Because this happened when I was 14, this is why these chicks, these ain't shit. That don't seem weak. That don't seem like you're lacking stick-to-itiveness. You're lacking the ability to deal with these things and release them and learn from them. You don't like 14, bump it up 6 years, 20 years old. Realize the older you make these calculations, the older you make these scenarios, the more you should seem to have the ability to say, that was that person. It wasn't men. It wasn't all women. It wasn't, no, it was just, hey, the man I chose right here, this didn't work out. So the errors and issues I had in this relationship are relatable to him. Okay, next relationship. What happens? The near exact same thing. Is that when it becomes okay to say all men? No. It's still that man. There may be similarities that you see with that other person, but it's still that man. The next relationship happens. Yo, the same thing. It's still that man. That particular person. It's still that error was that. And this is, of course, if we're completely ignoring that you were the common denominator in 1, 2, 3 relationships. We're just assuming you were perfect. Even if you're perfect, even if we allow that, it's still that man. It's not all men. It's not all women. It's not all of them are B words and they did this and they did you dirty and you just got to move forward and do the same thing for every other woman you see. It's still just that man. You don't have the time or the ability to date everyone in the world. You don't. And if you did, you'd be something like Bonnie Blue to some whatever extreme. You'd be trying to move and shake where it didn't make any sense why you should move and shake. The reality is, it's still that man or woman that did you, broke your heart. Deal with that in an isolated case. You think because my heart got broken, now my heart is sealed away, then the next person is somehow trying to find the lock and key for this thing? And when they don't have good reactions or good outcomes with you, you use that to say, this is why I'm like this. It's a self-fulfilling, stupid prophecy. You set yourself up for heartbreak and then solidify your heart to do so again and again and again and again. But then you look and say, it's all these other people's faults. No, you're the child. You're the one that has the inability to deal with their own emotions and cannot walk away from the hurt that hurt you. You use that as being the point in reality. This is a fixed point. Uncle Ben has to die. It's a fixed point. Clark Kent hits Kansas for all this to go well. Barry Allen becomes a Flash. All this has to happen. Barry's got to watch his mom die. He's got to be there. You got to watch it all happen. It's a fixed point. You think your relationship going to bad is a fixed point? You think you're that important to the universe where it's a fixed point? The universe don't care. Right? Doesn't matter your star sign. Doesn't matter. The universe don't care. This is really not how it works. This is from a man's point of view. Right? If you can provide me, glasses come back on, you can provide me with evidence where, yeah, no, actually your star signs do matter. Okay? Your star signs do matter. And I like to be one of the greatest examples of why the star signs don't matter, because the Leo I am today was not the Leo I was born with. I was very quiet, very, very, very introverted, very cognizant of how other people felt around me. But I watched the world move. I watched other people get the results I want. I said, I need to change. I need to improve. That's why I am the way I am today. It's a constant thing. It's a constant thing. It's a constant test, retest, test, retest. Same thing with the space, test, retest. Again, if you're new here, like the channel, subscribe to the channel. So this is one of the greatest things you can do is support. If you feel so moved, share, hit the super chat so I can, see what you got to say. Eventually, we know in time we want to build this thing to a real thing. But for now, for those of you that show up, tune up, and show up every day, I appreciate you guys. Well, every day you like the channel, but definitely streams. So listen, we're going to move on to the main event because I know I've kept you guys for quite a while today. We're at the 2-hour mark. I don't want you guys to doze off or fall out. But again, I appreciate you guys are here with the stream. We'll continue. Let's talk about it. All right, we're back. Main topic. And again, I appreciate you guys being here. I'm not going to try to keep you out all night. You guys have things to do. You got lives. You got children. You got to work tomorrow. But we got to talk about it. So we hinted about it, a lot of it, about the lies we like to tell each other. We like to tell, especially we're talking about women, because I think you're very susceptible to a lot of lies that you guys hear today. One of the ones I want to focus on is an important one because it underpins a lot of arguments. And I want you guys to walk away with some of this data today, some of this idea, some of this understanding today. When we talk about, or when we listen as men, because we listen and we should be listening not to respond, but to understand. We're listening to a lot of stuff that's being said, and they're telling us very unequivocally that one of the problems that you guys don't seem to understand is that women have better outcomes without men. That when a woman gets married to a man, it seeps her life force. It drains her. We're talking rogue on bearskin. Seeps that energy away. Memories, powers, abilities, all that. And Rogue, sometimes she can't handle it. She goes a little wild. She absorbs apocalypse. She goes a little wild. But for the rest of us, it just drains us, and sometimes we end up in a coma. Now, some of you think it's worth it, like Gambit, like Remy. He's like, oh, drain me. You're so hot. You're so bad. Drain me, I think it's worth it. But realistically, we understand that that's not really the case. That's not how the world sort of operates and works. It lies to you very early on, and then it waits for you to accept the lie into your programming, into your DNA, where you would need CRISPR to excise it. One of those very, 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 very basic lies is that you get better outcomes single than you get with women, than you get married. We like to say that. We like to use that as a precipice. We like to use that as a foundation. On this rock, I will build my church. That when a woman is married to a man, she is unhappy. She's more unhappy than a single woman. That the highest rate of reported happiness is single woman. You believe that. You hear it. It sounds good. It sounds good. That's all you need. That's all you need. You run with that. Even when your very real life as a single woman, as an older single woman says, that's not really the case. But you still fly the flag. You still believe in what the mission is saying, because whatever reason, that's a whole nother stream. That may be the whole topic for Wednesday. It's a whole nother stream, but you believe the sisterhood, and you fall in. Say, okay, this must be right. This must be true. I'm going to believe this anyway. So you rock with it, right? Like MJ, you rock with it. Very well realizing the truth is very different. The truth is very, very, very different. And it doesn't matter sometimes how you confront it with that. It doesn't matter how sometimes you say that. You believe that I have to fly this flag. It's a lie. It's a lie that you are telling yourself. The big bad, whoever you want to call it, right? You want to say it's a man, it's a white man, blah, 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 black man. They're trying to keep us down, countertraining the place. No one has to tell you otherwise. No one has to tell you anything different. You perpetuate the lie. This is the best type of lie. The self-propagating like a virus. I don't have to continue to infect you, to expose you to whatever. It self-propagates. And now it's living by itself. That lie is a very simple one. That single women have better outcomes than married. The problem lies in that none of you will look it up. None of you will look it up. None of you will stop, pause, and say, why don't I ever take a look? Why don't I ever sit there and take a look and wonder what's actually happening here? What's the truth? What is the actual, I don't want to say F, right? Because again, we want to be cognizant of who's paying attention to the stream. It was my mom, if she's showing up. But across the board, right? Across the board, that when people are surveyed, when married couples are surveyed versus single women, single people, across the board, it's reported that, yeah, you're happier when you're married. Married people report happier levels of happiness. They live longer by at least 2 years. Their net worth is significantly higher. You have a net worth of 4 digits single on average versus married 6 figures for $400,000. When you talk about your quality of life, married people have a built-in partner there to receive a lot of their emotional stress. You have someone there. You're not lonely. You're not alone. We're talking, of course, these are healthy, happy marriages. We want to be fair and say the happy version versus the single happy version. Yeah, you tend to do better married for men and women. The issue is it feels good to hear. No, you don't. It feels good to hear that being married drains a woman of all the things, all the intrinsic important things in her life. It drains her and makes her feel worse. It robs her of life. What could be more intrinsic than life? What could be more important than the life? Nothing. So I interpose myself and I tell you the lie right there. I tell you, you're better off single. You're better off spending your entirety of your life making product, consuming product, and loving it. And make your entire existence around this very thing. You sit here and believe it. You have the opportunity to question everything that is said to you, even what is said to you today. I try to research, I try to have conversations, I try to retest what I'm saying before I say it to you. But I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to be wrong. Correct me. I'm happy to listen to that. These are the conversations I like to have with people because it only sharpens your position. It lets you abandon positions that were wrong for you, that were only holding up your argument, holding up your reasoning structure. It makes the rest stand on its own. Or realize this whole thing can't stand because the base is wrong. And the base tells you that women are better single. They're not. If this was Star Wars, I tell you, search your truth, search your feelings. You know it's true. You're the most social of the group, yet when proposed with having to live alone, die alone, you know that's scary. That's not a proposition you want to entertain. It's not that men are better because they've sort of thought about this. They simply understand I can do what I can do, but I may not end up with the person I'm supposed to be with. And some of them say, that's true. So I'm going to marry who will marry me, who will allow me to take them off the market. And they'd rather say it's better to live a miserable life with someone than an okay life alone. People make the equations that make sense to them. But when we're looking at stats, when we're looking at numbers, when we're looking at data, you live longer, you make more money, you have reported higher levels of happiness coupled up with someone that loves and cares for you. And that's just facts. Again, we understand that I may be wrong. I may be outdated in my modality of thinking, but this is data I looked up from 2023. Anyone you guys are curious about it, I can post the link. I tried to have that back and forth, but sometimes OBS on the fly, things don't work out like you would. The point is, we need to be cognizant. We need to be constantly questioning a lot of stuff, of where stuff comes from. What makes sense for us? Because a lot of conversations online start with the premise, start with the very simple premise that this is true. If women have better outcomes single, why get married? Getting married would be more detrimental to you. It would harm you. You'd have a lower quality of life. You die sooner. That helps string along the next set of arguments, because if we believe that to be true, of course, then yeah, men are only want to benefit from marriage. You get someone that comes in that can help you do all the things that women purport to do while it costs her life, while the childbirth costs her life. And we're very clear. We'll be very clear. We're not saying that birthing children is without danger, especially as you become darker and darker and melanated. But saying that is the most dangerous thing, that it takes life from you. No, it makes life more worthwhile when you have someone there that you raise, that you pour into, especially when you can do it in a healthy manner. When you and you and your husband can do this together, before have better levels of happiness, and you get an extra 2 to 3 years on this planet to share that with. And the times when you're depressed, the times when you're hurt, you've got someone in there that understands you, that can be the receptacle for your negative emotions and the receptacle for your positive one. The problem is, none of this sounds cool, right? None of this sounds cool. None of this sounds amazing. Mom, what's going on? Subscribe to the channel, like the stream. So this helps build us out. The problem is none of it sounds cool. None of this gets in line with what gets traction on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. Misandry is the term of the day. If this was Sesame Street, this would be what to say. Oh, what's the word of the day? Misandry. It's popular. You can create whatever type of content you want as long as you say men are evil, men are bad. And you don't have to believe me, but remember this format next time you go and you scroll. General statement, men today are so lost. Blah, 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 because I went on a date recently and a man did blah, blah, blah. A singular man that we don't know, that we have not voted for as a conglomerate, came and told you, yes, he represents all of us. Everything he does is the right thing and we all approve of his actions. No one ever said that. This is why we think you're sort of weak. This is why we think the sort of premise doesn't make any sense. If you cannot understand that your specific incident, your specific experience with that man means your experience with that man, not the rest of us. We have no responsibility or no say in what he did with you, what you guys did together. It's really none of our business, none of our concern. That's not how we're moving. That's not how we're shaking. That's you and that's him. If you don't understand that, you're being lied to effectively to keep you out here, to keep you working, to keep you diametrically opposed to the man that's supposed to help enrich and enliven your life. We're going to stay right here. We're not going to move past go. We're not going to collect $200. At best, someone's going to land on a railroad and get bankrupt. At best, someone's going to land at Park Place and realize I can't pay the toll to cross the bridge. And the troll comes out and the troll lets you know, yeah, man, there's a price for not making the price. Outside of being lonely, it's for a lot of men, it's having your name kind of expunged from the records. You'll never, ever be whatever your last name is. There'll never be another one of you. Yeah, maybe someone similar with the same name, but of you, of your ilk, of your line, no. I don't know what the equivalent of the importance of legacy to women is. They often downplay. If I had another man talking about he wants the kids because legacy, blah, blah, blah. Fuck it. This is what we care about. But ending your line may not be the same tragic, may not be the same thing, but never being a mother may be the same thing for you. It may matter just as much. I can't say. I don't try to speak for women. I try to have places where women can come on and say their piece because I'm always down for the conversation. If we can get these subscribers up, if we can get to where we want, we can get to the stretch goal, 5,000 subscribers, eventually on our road to 100,000, we can start opening up more avenues of these conversations. I want to have more back and forth. I enjoy when we can sharpen each other's argument, but that can only really be done when we show the algorithm, yo, we're here to stay. We're here to make some sense. We're here to move. We're here to shake. We're here to have a good time. And with these lives, we're here to have a little bit of laugh. So for that, I hope I had entertained you guys for a little bit. I know this is a little bit long stream, but if we can make these more the regular and find a time that is suitable for all of us, I'll be very satisfied and ecstatic with that. For now, as always, I'll see you in the next one.